I hope everyone is keeping safe and well. Since the last time we did this, a lot has changed and hopefully it's going to return to some normality soon. I'm sure you're well aware phase 1 of SFTR, due to go live at the start of April, has been delayed to the beginning of July. And given the circumstances, this has been welcomed by the industry and gives us more time to prepare with additional testing time. This also includes clarification on the backloading requirements that firms need to pay particular attention to. And the Commission has clarified the situation with hedge fund managers on their scope and that it's the fund jurisdiction that is important. We're progressing well with our rollout, now in the production environment, and firms are taking advantage of the additional time with the extended period to do more UAT and production testing, and in particular look at some of the edge cases that are proving problematic. LEIs are still a challenge, so there is the 12-month extended period for non-EU securities. They won't require an LEI for an additional 12 months, but EU securities will require LEIs still, and there are some gaps in their availability, and that needs to be carefully assessed on the impact for both trading and collateral availability. So phases 1 and 2 now go live in July. Phase 3 will continue to roll out in October, when asset managers, hedge funds, pension, insurance funds will start to report, and they face particular challenges, which we'll cover later on. At Pirum, we're focusing on the element of UTI generation, sharing, reconciliation and pre-matching as part of the joint solution with IHS Markit. Now, there are huge benefits to pre-matching. First of all, it's the process where we generate and share the UTIs, and also the agent-lender allocation information can be distributed along with the collateral related to their allocations and shared with their counterparties. It also provides an early validation in the reporting process. Why wait until that gets rejected by the TR when you can fix it prior to TR submission? It also helps with data enrichment, both transformation of the data or adding additional data fields that are required for reporting. Also, it can be used to link events to the UTI and then create the correct reporting events, such as picking up modifications. So all of those are required to get the report to the trade repository. Then there's data reconciliation. It's important to reconcile fields that will be used to pair the trade at the trade repository and have an efficient process of fixing these. The TR reconciliation happens sometime after submission, and the inter-TR rec can be challenging. So make sure the LEI of the counterparty, the UTI, the master agreement match will greatly help that pairing process. And reconciling additional data fields will help prevent breaks. And you should prioritize those rather than looking at all on day one when the regulation goes live, particularly given the lag of the TR reconciliation, both from a timing perspective during the reporting cycle, but also the reconciled data fields at the TR are rolled out over time. So having the ability to reconcile those data fields in addition to what the TR is doing is going to be quite important. Obviously, the regulators see the TR reconciliation data, so that's an important element of the regulation that you need to review and make sure you look at. In addition, the reconciliation process is often bifurcated in firms, with operations looking at some breaks and regulatory reporting teams looking at others, and that needs to be carefully managed and monitored going forward. Now, of course, pre-matching benefits go way beyond those of regulatory reporting. Confirmation, affirmation, pre-matching processes, whatever you want to call them, help in a number of ways today and will continue to do post the go live of SFTR. They help share information that is not SFTR related. Believe it or not, there is some data like tax rates, contractual provisions, collateral requirements, SSIs. They help manage risk, reduce fails, and also help with the collateral exposure management processes. And it's important to recognize in various forms, it's required by regulation globally or through industry best practices. Both industry bodies such as ISLA and ICMA and the prudential authorities like the Bank of England Money Market Code have confirmation requirements in them as well. Now, it also helps with lifecycle event processing, P&L management, and again, risk management and operational efficiency. So we're helping firms deal with the impacts of SFTR on their operating model, particularly the processes, controls and automation that they have. And this will be critical in order to minimize the impacts of SFTR, but also CSDR. And pre-matching plays an important role in that, in minimising both the impacts from a regulatory reporting perspective, but also business perspective. So if you haven't already, start looking at the processes that SFTR impacts, particularly the life cycle events and the root cause of breaks, both for the on and off leg, the initial report, and how the modifications and ongoing reconciliation process will be impacted. Some of the issues we're seeing are around LEI mapping, and firms are progressing well with cleaning that up. And then, of course, the tolerances on particular data points are causing issues. And that needs to be looked at probably longer term on how those can be dealt with. But it's important to start identifying the root cause, categorising them, and having a remediation plan around that. Now, it's important that firms ensure the matching process with agent lenders is monitored actively throughout the day. That's going to be critical to get your allocation information and the related collateral from your agent lenders and make sure it's shared effectively and in a timely manner. And many firms need to look at the reconciliation impacts of life cycle events, particularly where they are agreeing to close out trades. So the return or off leg is often taken out of the wrong UTI, and the timing of events varies between counterparties, which can cause some challenges as well. As always, if you need more information or want to look at this in more detail, please reach out to us.
IHS Markit is delighted that 120 plus buy-side and sell-side institutional clients, accounting for 80% of the top 40 borrowers and lenders for securities finance transactions and repo, are 100% committed and have partnered with IHS Markit for SFTR reporting. Phase 3 buy-side firms reporting in October have a mere 5 months to get ready for reporting. From our experience with our clients, we recommend 6 months minimum for SFTR projects to be successful. From the many industry surveys, webinars and discussions, and lessons learned from UAT testing, the following pain points have been identified. Number 1, complicated data sourcing for more upstream books and records and several systems. 2, UTI generation and sharing. 3, delegated reporting. The pain points are further exacerbated by COVID-19, but that has put heavy strain on budgets and resources. Utilizing IHS Markit's resources and experience will mitigate this. We are having many discussions with buy-side firms currently. Although buy-side firms will favor delegated reporting as they did with EMEA, thus trying to save themselves from technical builds and the complexity of reporting, we have seen in practice that not all firms will offer delegated reporting to all their counterparties, especially if the counterparty does not do large volumes of trading with them. Therefore, discussions need to be had now to see if this is an option. Collateral reuse also complicates delegated reporting because SFTR requires reporting on the reuse of underlying collateral at the entity level, not the trade level. It is not always possible for an agent lender or dealer to know when or what collateral has been reused by a beneficial owner and for what purpose. Only the asset owner can know this information and therefore report it. SFTR's data requirements therefore make delegated reporting challenging, and for most buy-side firms, self-reporting may be the only realistic option. Delegated reporting does not remove a buy-side firm's legal responsibility to report and report accurately. Effective oversight and controls must be in place in order to provide detailed reporting information if an audit or regulatory review is undertaken. There are many questions that need to be answered for SFTR reporting, such as when do you choose and sign up to the trade repository? Selecting a trade repository must be done as soon as possible so as not to hold up your project by being held in a long queue at the trade repository. You want to be able to perform full end-to-end testing as soon as possible. Where do you get all your reporting data from? Collating all the data from disparate upstream systems and making sure all the data is cleansed and ready for reporting is complex and is a big challenge, especially with up to 155 fields for reporting. IHS Markit can help you with this. Buy-side firms also need to make sure that all the systems involved in the trade life cycle have been updated with SFTR fields required for reporting. You may need software upgrades for this purpose, which can take more time and delay your project further. Do you have all the reporting LEIs and issuer LEIs, and do you have all the reference data that has to be reported? IHS Markit can help with this. We specialize in data products, and in particular, reference data and securities finance data. You need to decide on your UTI generation and sharing strategy, working with your counterparty to decide who will be the UTI generator, or if in fact bilateral agreements are more beneficial. You will also need to know which reporting solution your client is on for UTI sharing and matching purposes, because it is easier if you are both on one solution. Experience has proved that legal and procurement teams can take several weeks to negotiate contracts. You need to know your procurement process and how long this takes, and add this into your project timelines. At IHS Markit, we have a very streamlined legal and onboarding process, and will assist you with this.